In the previous section, we saw how to make a web page into an Angular application and how to bootstrap a new project. We are now ready to actually build dynamic components for the application. We will start this section by first defining controllers in this video. To start off with, we have used Yeoman to scaffold a new project called Movie Mania. And Yeoman created a nice file structure and defined the Movie Mania Angular app. Also notice the several folders created under app/script, and in particular, the controllers folder. Controllers are the brain of each of your views or templates, and is used to display JavaScript data into HTML markup, and in reverse, read user input or actions from the page to the JavaScript code. To define a controller, we need to declare it in two places. The first one is the HTML markup, which the controller will be in charge of. So let's open the index.html file. Find this div with the attribute ng-view. This ng-view attribute was bootstrapped by Yeoman and is actually used for routing, as we will see in the next section. For the time being, however, let's replace ng-view with ng-controller and the name of the controller, main controller. If you decided not to use Yeoman to bootstrap the project, please create your own div with the ng-controller attribute. Next, we need to define the corresponding JavaScript controller. So open the controllers folder and the main.js file. This again was bootstrapped by Yeoman. To declare the controller, we extend the Angular module, Movie Mania app, with a controller. Note here that the Angular.module call does not have a second parameter after the name of the application. If you compare this with app.js, you see that Angular.module takes the name of the application and a list of dependencies. When a list of dependencies is provided, we are defining the application. This should only happen in one single place. In main.js, however, we just want to extend the module with extra functionality. So Angular.module does not take a second parameter. As you can see, the controller is actually defined as a constructor function, and a new instance will be created automatically whenever Angular detects that the current page uses that specific controller, in our case, main controller. As a parameter to the controller function, we have a $scope variable, which is the placeholder for any data that needs to be accessible in the template. In short, everything defined on the $scope object is accessible in the HTML template. Anything outside of that object is not available. Be mindful not to misspell the $scope variable or to remove the leading dollar, since this is made available by Angular using this exact name. This technique, called Dependency Injection, will be discussed at a later stage. As a quick example of how the controller can be used to link the JavaScript and the HTML side, let's replace this scope.awesomeThings with a scope.title. And in the index.html, within the controller div, let's create a heading which is bound to the title. If you now open the browser, you will see the message that you just typed in the controller. We have now defined a controller, a piece of code that takes charge of part of our page. In the next video, we will discuss further how to use that controller to display data.